Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome everyone to GE 405 Engineering Economy. And today, inshallah, we'll continue with uh, Chapter 1, Part 2. As requested earlier, that I request from you to watch the second part of Chapter 1 from the recorded session. So today we will discuss it and solve extra problems. Hope you did already that. And I'm expecting also to have the two sections, MB1 and MA1 here. And I will do the attendance for both sections at the end or the middle of the meeting. So the second part of chapter 1, it discussed the equivalence and how the value of money changed over the time, and give an example of 1 year. And if that number of years exceeded for more than 1 year period, then we have to find first or identify the type of interest used, because there are two types of interest rate, either simple or compound. And whereas the simple is ignoring the accrued interest over the years, the compound interest, on the other hand, is including or considering the interest amount over the years to the original amount. And examples were solved from the recorded sessions. And then we have discussed the terminologies and symbols that are going to be carried during the semester, which are the T stands for time, the P stands for present, and F for future, and A for annual. Also, we had the interest rate, which is I, or R of R, or IR, which we covered earlier. And N is the number of period, whether years or month or so on. And then lastly was discussing the cash flow diagram and what is the difference between the inflow and outflow. This was a recap for the second part of chapter 1. I would like to receive all questions while I'm preparing the two problems that we're going to solve as for an extra for this chapter. So please, if you have questions, prepare your question and ask it using the mic or the chat box. Okay, since there is no questions, we can proceed with the tutorial exercise. I believe this is for the first one. Let me just put the... Yes, here is the problem. A financing company lent an engineering company 100,000 to build an environmentally friendly building. The loan is for 3 years at 10% per year simple interest. How much money will the firm repay at the end of the 3 years? So after reviewing the simple and compound interest rate, how can we solve this example and find the requirement, which is the total repay at the end of 3 years?
Doctor, the percentage after 3 years is 30%, and the final price will be $130,000.
Okay, and if we ask how will be the calculation, what is the formulation for that? So the total interest, you said how much is the total interest is 30. How
30. We multiply 0.10 في 1000 and it is getting 10,000 and multiply by 3 years. The interest will be 3,000. 300. No. Yes.
Okay, so it is basically as stated from the students, that is going to be the 100,000, the original amount, times 3 times the 0.1, which is the interest rate, and 3 is the number of years, and that will give us the $30,000 for the total interest, and the total amount will be the original amount, which is the 100,000
plus 130.
that's the 30,000, which will equal, yes, the $130,000. Excellent. Okay, so everyone did that. Thank you, Abdullah Sahimi, Umar, Abdullah Al-Haybi, Hashim. Great. Okay, then let's move on to the second problem. The second problem says, assume an engineering company borrows 100,000 at 10% per year compound interest and will pay the principal and all the interest after 3 years. Compute the annual interest and the total amount due after 3 years. How we are going to solve this question, or anyone would like to participate using mic or on the chat box, you can.
Doctor,
Yes,
can I?
Yes, definitely.
In the first, we have 3 years here, divided by one by one. In the first, we take the percentage 0.1, and we will get 10,000. This percentage equal 10,000. We will subtract. Sorry, we will merge with next year.
Okay.
That is in 2 years.
Okay.
That is equal 100,000 plus 10,000.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Multiply by 0.1.
Okay.
And we will continue like in the last year, like that.
Okay. Good. Good. Excellent. Excellent, Abdullah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Abdullah explained it, and also 10,000 is the interest yearly. No, Abdullah, this is compound. And the first thing, let's clarify it here for you and all the other students. Well, Abdullah, mashallah, already went to the solution, but some students, they just go and find the total amount due after 3 years, and they think this is the solution for this problem. Make sure to read the problems very carefully. Here are, in this problem, there are 2 requirements. The first requirement is to compute the annual interest, which means the annual interest amount for all the 3 years. That means every single year you have to find the interest amount. And the total amount due after 3 years. So this is the second part of the question. The question has 2 requirements. Annual interest amount plus the total amount at the end of year 3. And since it is compound, the annual interest amount is not fixed. This is a compound. In the compound, we are considering the principal plus the interest accrued from the previous year to find the interest amount for the followed year. So to do so, for the first part of the problem, as Abdullah mentioned. So I will solve it here. So 10,000, that is the interest for year 1. And the total due for year 1 equal 100,000, which is the original amount, plus to the 10,000, which is the interest amount, which equals to 110. For the interest for the second year equal 110,000, which we just found from the previous year. This will be the principal. You multiply it with 0.1, which is the rate or the interest rate, and that will give us the sign here. It should be dollar value. Okay. And the total due for year 2 will be the original amount or the principal amount, which is from the previous year, which is 110,000, plus the interest amount we just found, which is the 11,000, which that give us the okay. And for the interest rate or the interest amount, sorry, for the last year or the third year, 122,000, which we just found, considered to be the original, multiplied with the 0.1, and that will give us 12,100. And the total due is 121,000 plus the 12,100. And that is the last part, which is we found here is the second part of the problem, the 133,000, sorry, and 100. That is the total amount after 3 years. And the annual interest amount found here on the left column, which is the 10,000 for year 1, 11,000 for year 2, and 12,100 for year 3. That is the interest amount needed for every single year. And this is the total, which is including the interest amount and the principal for the 3 years. Imagine if it's asking the total amount due after year 2, then 121,000 is the total amount after year 2. So any questions in regard to this problem? Anything that's clear?
It's clear, Doctor.
Okay, so let's move on to the slides again, just to explain or emphasize on the cash flow and make sure that the cash flow is understood clearly, because it is very important and it's going to be required in all the coming chapters. First, we have to identify what does the cash flow, the cash inflow and the cash outflow. The inflow, it comes with the plus sign and the arrow is to up, and the outflow is a minus sign and arrows to down. And the net cash flow is the inflow minus the outflow, which is the inflow representing any profits, any money you earned, even if you have loan. When you get the loan from the bank, this is inflow. You have the money now, but in installments you are going to pay our دفعات. This is going to be outflow. So the outflow arrows to down and it has a minus sign like a cost. Inflow, it is arrowed to the up and it has a plus sign like revenue. Here is an example when the present is $10,000 and it is borrowed at 8% per year, and if it's sought after 5 years, sought here المقصود منها is repaid or paid back after 5 years. So the 10,000 placed on year 0, usually the cash flow start on year 0. When it says now or principal or original, that means this amount placed on year 0. And the year after is the requirement, which is the future value, and the one is the given value, which is the present. Any value that is compared to the previous one is a future, and any value comes previous to a future value that is a present. Like for example, the 10,000 here, it is present compared to the future. If there is another year, which is 6th year, let's say, year number 6, and that year number 6 has a 7,000, let's say, so the 7,000 will be a future to year 5, and year 5 will be a present to year 7. So when you identify the year, whether future or present, you have to look whether the requirement and the given information. The annual is the equivalent values, like for example here, $4,000 appear from year 3 to year 7. That is mean annual. It is equal amount that appeared for exact number of time. And the present here is the requirement and considered to be present. Why? Because it is previous than the amount of the 4,000 that appeared from year 3 to year 7. Imagine if the same requirement was for year 8, then if it was for year 8, that will be future because it comes after year 7, so it will be a future. That is all for that part 2 of chapter 1. I would like to answer any questions here you have regarding to that part or any previous part before we do the attendance. And answering here also, I'm having a question. Abdullah asking, borrowed اقتراض? Yes, borrowed means اقتراض. Loan means قرض. So please, if you have questions, prepare your questions while I'm having the attendance ready. Okay, any questions?
دكتور.
Yes, Abdullah.
دكتور example 1.6.
Example 1. Where is 1.6? Yes, Abdullah.
ايوه دكتور B. There is another solution but didn't give me the same solution. I said
Okay.
2 at B. I said 205 minus 0.05 multiplied by 205.
Okay.
He didn't give me the same solution.
Okay. Here in this question, in example 1.6, it is giving you an information about this AC Delco company, which has an interest rate of 5%, and giving you a statements. You have to verify whether those statements false or true. What you have to do basically, and make it simple, you apply the 5% to the original amount given in the statement and make sure whether it is going to be equal to the future amount in the same statement. So in the first statement, it was clear to you, and the second one, there was some mistakes or something that is not clear. In the second statement stated that a track battery cost of 200 1 year ago is equivalent to 205 now. If I said, Ya Abdul, you have 200 Riyal last year, and I'm applying 5% on that 200 Riyal per year, how much you will have this year?
Doctor, something wrong in part A. 929.
No, let's take it one by one, okay? Who was asking, by the way, Abdullah or Abdullah? The one who was asking.
Abdullah, Doctor.
Abdullah, same. Yes. Abdullah, now my question was not to Abdullah, to Abdullah. Abdullah, you had 200 Riyal last year, and I applied 5% to the 200 Riyal from the last year to this year. How much you will have in total this year?
210.
Ahsant, excellent. Khalas. Without looking to their answer. Doesn't mean their answer is wrong. Their answer is right, but you don't have to follow the way. You have two ways to confirm the statement. Either to find how much the 200 should be equal, so this year will equal 205, or to find how much is the 200 should equal now after the 5%. Either to find the correct value in the future or the correct value in the past. The textbook or the slide fix the value in the past. That's why you see it looks here weird to you. He wanted to find how much it should be to get 205 in the future, considering that a 5%. That's why he found it at 195.24. The 195.24, when you apply 5%, it gives you the 205. But this is one way to get the solution. The other way, which is the easier, the one I ask you and you answer it correct, the 205, it should be 210 to equalize the 200 after 1 year, considering the 5%. Is it clear now?
ايوه يا دكتور، بس انا مقصدي يا دكتور اني حليت بالطريقتين والمفروض انها تطلع نفس الناتج، بس طلع فيه اختلاف بالفواصل، يعني طلعت 194.75.
Okay, I will confirm. You mean you solve it in the other way and it wasn't 195.24. I will do it now and I will confirm while taking the other questions. What was the other questions? Yes, Hamza.
Doctor, example 1.6, 1.8.
Okay, I will come to you. I thought you have for this one, so let me just verify. Okay, and we'll come back to you. The 205, this is the total amount, okay? And to find the original amount, you can apply it here. $100. I get the same answer. That's weird. I will check with that again with you.
دكتور اقول الطريقه اللي استخدمتها.
Okay, it's okay. Why don't okay.
انا كتبت 205 ناقص 0.05 ضرب 205.
Okay.
يعني طرحت الفائده 205 ناقص 0.05 ضرب 205. الطريقه دي صح؟
لا يا عبد الله. Here if you want to check the other side, you have to check the 200 here and to find how much is equal when you have the 5%. Otherwise, for the 205, what you have to do is you divide it over the original amount multiplied with the interest rate plus the 1. You divide it. Now the 205, if you go here further in the slides, to have the principal here, the last sentence or the last formulation, to find the principal, what you have to do, you divide the total amount by 1 plus the interest rate. And in this case, the 205 divided by the 1 plus the interest rate gives you that the original amount, which is the principal here. Okay, now you want to find the principal. In this case, in the way you want to solve it, you want to find the principal. So you divide the 205, which is the total, divided by what is the 105? It is 1 plus the interest rate. The interest rate is 0.05 plus 1. So the total, the answer is the principal, and the principal found calculations from 205 was not equal to 200, was 194. But anyway, this is a statement has to be correct in both ways. That's why I'm telling you the easier way to confirm whether the 200 equal 205 after 1 year is basically it should be 210. Why I go the other way around? The statement, it cannot be right from one way only. The future should be equal to the present with the given information in the both ways. And also this is answering Hamza's statements here when he said he wants the cost battery before a year ago. As he wants to find it 1 year ago, you have the value of now. Instead of finding the value 1 year ago, you can confirm the value of today. And if the given value of today is wrong, then there is a wrong in the statement. He is asking in the questions, if you read it carefully, which of the following statements are true and which are false about the battery cost? The battery cost here, regarding here or in the equivalent future, both of them, it should be equal. Why? Because when you go to the previous slide, this 100 equal to 106 when considering the 6% per year. It cannot be the 100 here and 110 and having here a 6%. So in both, and it's when it says equivalence, what does equivalence mean in Word? Both sides are equal. Even if he's asking about the cost, which is also can be found, as I told you, by dividing the amount, the total amount on the interest rate plus 1, it will give you the original amount. Okay, now you check the battery cost, but also you can check it from the other way around. It is also correct. Okay, I mean, it is also right to do that. Now, if this is clear, before we move to, I don't know who was asking about example 1.8, but anyway, is there any more confusion here in this slide or this 3 statements so we can clarify it?
Yes.
And the graph is not included with you, but if you want, I can explain it. I even removed it from the slides in the video. But you mean the amount paid, why it
Yes,
was
in
0?
first year and second year, why it's 0?
Okay, okay. In this example, is asking to, if an engineer borrows 1,000 from the company credit union at 5% per year compound interest, compute the total amount due after 3 years, graph and compare results of this and the previous example. Okay. For the first and the second, it was not required from the question. He's asking for the third year, the total year, the total amount due after year 3, and he wants you to compare the simple and compound in terms of that factor. For the first and second, the total was not required. Okay, this is different than the example we just solved today. That example is asking to find the interest amount for every single year. Here it is asking only the total amount for year 3. So year 1 and 2, it was not required. Okay.
Yes, doctor, thank you.
Yes, and also here, even if it's calculated, the total amount for year 1 and 2, this is given here, but for the simple, I believe, because this example is asking to compare this one with the simple, which I think was 1.7. Yes, here. And in 1.7, also, it found 3 years. So you have to compare. The question clearly asks to find the total for those two and compare them together. Now, the total here for the simple was 1,150, and for the compound was 1,157, to show that there is a difference between the compound and simple, even though the original amount is the same and the interest rate is the same and number of years are the same. So this is way can be used for marketing. You can use a percentage like 5%, but you can apply it compounded and it will give you more money at the end as a bank. So, and basically this is the most common application of interest rate. Usually they use the compound, not the simple. Okay, answering any further questions? Okay, so let's do any questions, any more questions? Everything clear?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. I will ask you to start watching this session, which is chapter 2, part 1, from the link below here. And inshallah, on Sunday, we will come and discuss chapter 2, part 1, which is in the recorded session, and solve extra problem. Chapter 1 and 2, as I said, the most two important chapters in this course. Please understand them very well, and especially for the things that and the questions we are solving here or in the recorded session, because this is where we focus on the exams, and also the core material of this course are explained in the recorded session and in the problems here in the extra sessions. So please watch chapter 2, part 1 from now. You still have time in the lecture, and before Sunday, by Sunday, inshallah, meeting, we will come and discuss that part and have extra examples. While you're watching the part 1 of chapter 2, I will do the attendance. So please, if you hear your name, type on the chat box or use the mic to make the attendance. So we will start with section MA1. Ibrahim Zahrani. Ibrahim Zahrani. Ibrahim. Okay, Ibrahim absent. Ahmed Khalil.
موجود.
Okay. Ahmed بن محمد. والله الحريقي او اعتذر اذا كان الاسم لانه مش واضح عندي last name. فالstudent ID is 3700958. أحمد بن حمد بن محمد الحريقي absent. أمين بنجر. أمين بنجر absent. أنس نافع.
موجود.
بدر خريجي.
حاضر.
حمزة عاشور.
حاضر يا دكتور حمزة عاشور. Are you hear me, doctor?
Yes. عادل الرحيلي.
حاضر يا دكتور.
عاصم طه. عاصم طه. عاصم طه موجود؟ ما هو موجود. عاصم الحربي.
عاصم عبد الله دكتور موجود.
عاصم عبد الله موجود، نعم. عبد الرحمن الهجلة.
حاضر.
دكتور كان I leave؟
Yes you can. عبد الرحمن العوفي.
حاضر.
طيب. عبد العزيز سكر.
حاضر يا دكتور.
طيب. عبد الله البوق. عبد الله الجهني.
حاضر يا دكتور.
طيب، اللي يسمع اسمه يقدر يمشي زي بيقولوا. عبد المجيد الحربي.
حاضر يا دكتور.
طيب. عصام بلوي.
حاضر.
اوكي. فراس كردي. فراس كردي. فراس ابسن. اوكي. محمد مطر الشريف.
حاضر يا دكتور.
محمد. طيب. ناصر السيد. طيب. يزيد السراني.
حاضر.
تمام. طيب. هناخذ الآن MB1.
معلش دكتور أنا MA1 ما سمعت اسمي.
اللي ما سمع اسمه باستثناء اللي ناديناهم ما كانوا موجودين حاضر. احنا بناخذ راندوم ويكسبلين.
دكتور نطلع عادي
ايوه
MA1.
اللي نعم اللي انتهينا من MA1 يقدر يمشوا. الان MB1 نحضركم ان شاء الله راندوم نفس الشيء. اللي يسمع اسمه ما هو موجود حينحط غايب. اللي ما يسمع اسمه بتحضر. هو راندوم، احنا العدد كبير ما حنقدر نمشي على كل اسم. حناخذ راندوم. أسامة السيد.
تمام يا دكتور.
لو تقفل التسجيل يا دكتور.
مقفل المفترض انه والله